So here we are. It is Monday. It is rolling through mid-November somehow, almost. And lots of stuff is happening. Hi Rose, hi Cassidy, hi Leanne, hi Margaret. Woohoo! Okay, so what do I want to tell you first? All right, first, let's talk about last week's candlelit vigil. I've never done one of those before, and that was a really wonderful experience for me. I felt like every time I went live with you guys, it was like I wasn't even in my body. I was like floating around and just like, I didn't even know what I was saying, honestly. So I am really happy with the way that that turned out. Obviously, we all learned a thing or two about the power of our collective manifestation and what it feels like to have focused intention. And so a lot of you guys, some of you messaged me, some of you commented and said that you wanted to continue that in some way, shape, or form. And so what I have done is in the Restoration Facebook group, which most of you are members of already, I have pinned a post to the top that has a picture of a candle, and you can post your pictures from your various vigils that you want to do in that string so that we can all go through and see them anytime we want, and we can kind of just like hop in there. It'll still give you notifications that something's been posted. You can still do hashtags, all the things, but they'll be all organized in that one pinned post so that we can find them and enjoy them over and over and over again. So please do that because I love to see them as well. And also, if you would like for us to collectively help lift up somebody you know who needs extra love, extra energy sent their way for and whatever reason, please post that as well in the string so that we can hold them in our energy and light a candle for them as well. So let's keep that energy going. It's beautiful, it's huge and powerful, and I love the way that it has brought our community in restoration together. It's felt really, really nice. So good job. The other thing is, what was it? I wanted to talk about that first. I don't know. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Hi, Carla. I have one event for channeling with Peony and Co. And that's gonna be Thursday night at 5, I think, or 5:30. And I'm going to kind of open that up and allow more than 10 in if that is what we want. So if you're interested in that, I don't know if it's out as an event, but send me a message if you're interested. It's kind of like, I don't know, Q&A panel with Peony, but also similar to Fairy Ring and that, or Oracle Circles that you've been in me with, that everybody gets a reading. So if you're interested in that this week, I am gonna be doing that. Otherwise, I'm not doing anything else like that for the rest of the month, unless I spontaneously decide to that moment, in which it'll just be a random pop-up thing. It's kind of how I have to roll right now, so I'm just doing the best that I can and flowing with it. But I wanted to offer that out to you guys as well. So now let's talk about the things, because this week is, if you follow the Schumann resonance, you will notice that starting yesterday, we started to have spikes again. And if you're not familiar with the Schumann resonance, it is how they measure the energetic frequency of the earth. And it's always in some sort of motion, movement, whatever, but in the past, it has really maintained a steady frequency, and now it certainly does not. And there are times when it flatlines altogether. If you go and look back at them, I think October had a flat line, September had a flat line, and then there are times when the resonance spikes dramatically. And if you start looking at the patterns of that and how you feel on various days, you'll definitely find a correlation. On the days that the resonance spikes up really high, how it makes me feel is incredibly dissonant and disconnected and anxious. And I feel like, things that I'm good with, I'm no longer good with, and I just don't feel very capable of doing life. So yay, Schumann resonance. But The cool thing is that each time the Schumann resonance spikes up, each time we experience that, we are also getting an energetic upgrade in frequency. So while it feels kind of shitty to experience, each time we're actually being leveled up. So that is happening in real time as we live and breathe. And it's leading up to yet another event. And I actually made myself a little printout so I wouldn't forget to tell you very specific things about the rest of this month. So first of all, we're rolling up on Wednesday to the 1111 portal. Okay, so what does that mean? Join me for the live on Wednesday morning, and we will supercharge your wishes, your manifestations, pull them all together. Kind of like the best thing to do these days, right? But it's basically a portal to open up your best self, your highest intention, and all of the things that you want to bring in. Boom. Things are happening so fast, and we are going to be given so many opportunities to supercharge our manifestations. And so if we are able to hold that high note, which only means we're holding that frequency that aligns with what we actually truly want, we can hold that. We are going to be given these portals. We're going to be given eclipses. We're going to be given super new moons in order to allow these things to be birthed into our current reality. So strap it on because this is happening. So if you want to join me on Wednesday morning when I do the live, we're going to do some sort of thing, probably a meditation of sorts, to allow us to really tap in and supercharge those manifestations. And that leads us into Sundays, I think it is, new moon. And that is going to be the last super moon of 2020. And so yet again, I will be telling you, this is a really important super new moon, but it really is. They all are very important. Whereas October was the month of choice, November is the month of hanging on to that choice and holding it up and not letting it go, not letting anything around you pull it down. It's all about feeding, and lifting up and allowing that buoyancy to be alive and well, because there are plenty of ways, shapes and forms for us to lose that momentum and lose that sense of hope and uplift. A lot of you right now may be feeling very hopeful and uplifted, and that's amazing. Please hold on to that. But understand that this is not the end game. This is a step in the next. So we're living in the now moment, absolutely, and we need to stay there. But we also need to understand that we can't just let go and say, oh, yay, we did it. We manifested what we wanted. We did not yet. Keep going. Keep going. Do not stop. This is a moment, and we need to keep going. And so while it's really great to feel celebratory right now, and I know a lot of you are, it's really important not to become at all complacent or sit back and say, all right, we did what we had to do, we got it, because that's not where we're at yet. There's plenty of curveballs that are going to be thrown at us in November alone. And as we move into December, like holy shit. So, stay in the game, my friends. Okay, so we've got 1111 portal happening on Wednesday. What else is really important? On November 14th, this has been interesting because November 14th has been a day that has been, popping up for me a lot. And I don't know, I was like, why? But it's more of an energetic date. So the 14th of November is going to be when we truly feel that retrograde of Mercury has left us alone. So we're still in that shadow, believe it or not, of Mercury retrograde. And so because we are still in that shadow, things are not yet completely clear, okay? Just put it that way. So on the 14th, we're going to move out of that and things are going to start snapping into place in different ways and more things are going to be revealed. We are in Scorpio season and Scorpio season is all about that. It's all about the murky, dark waters and bringing our shadows up. And so while we're talking about that, shadow work. What is it? Who's doing it? What on earth? I will completely oversimplify this for you because I think that for me personally, that's been the best way. We do shadow work every single day. You don't need to, light a bunch of candles and sit down and be like, here we go, I hope it come back. It doesn't need to be that way. Shadow work merely means that you see yourself. See who you are, what you are doing, and what you have done, and allow yourself to be exactly where you are now and not identify with your past selves all the time. When I talk to people about doing the shadow work together, here's the image that comes through, and Peony actually helped me to piece this together. So imagine the now moment is this kind of neutral plane, okay? It's like this middle space right here. We have the future over here. This is kind of like we're gonna call this the light space, okay? And then we have the shadow realms over here. And when we're working with our shadow, what we wanna do is hop over here into shadow realm land and pick something. And then we don't stay there, we take it and bring it here so that we can look at it in a safe space. So we look at it, we see what we can understand about it, can we speak to it, what things can we know, and we decide, are we going to be able to release this? Are we ready to release this? Is this something that has come up for healing and it's the right time for us? And if it is indeed the right time, we take this, we move it into the light space area, and we do something with it. What I like to do is walk through meditation where we give it into the earth, because remember, no energy ever just disappears. And that is really important to remember. So if you bring shadow stuff into the now moment and then you don't do anything with it, it's running rampant in your now life, and you don't need to do that. So we bring it over here, we look at it, we make some decisions. Are you ready to let go of that? If so, we move on to the next phase, send it down into the earth, let it be absorbed, transmuted, whatever it needs to do, and then we close that door for then. And alternatively, if you are not ready to release something, understand that sometimes bringing it here and seeing it for just a few moments is all you need to do in that moment. We go back and we put it where it came from, and we do not stay there. So that's what's really important about shadow work, in my opinion and in my experience, to know is that we go over there, we grab something, then we bring it here and we look at it and make decisions. And if we're not going to send it away, we put it back, because we don't want to bring all of our shadows into the now moment and allow them to just run rampant all around, because that is not going to help us do anything except swim in the murky shadows. So I hope that that makes sense for you. This is something that, is a little bit easier to explain in person, I think, and probably better like in print, but we're all evolving and learning, and I'm evolving and learning all the time and understanding more about this process. But from where I am right now, that's how it's looking to me. So I hope that makes sense for you guys. But anyway, back to Scorpio season. We're in this right now, and you may have been feeling off and on the murkiness coming up in waves, right? It kind of just like, whew, goodness gracious, I thought I was done with this. And it comes up over and over and over again. We are going to be moving on the 22nd into Sagittarius season. And Sagittarius season is a welcome shift of energy from Scorpio season, because it's that expansive, fiery energy. But you need this first, because this will help to lighten you. This will help to unburden you. This is the month where you can make decisions about what things you've been kind of identifying with as who you are, that you're no longer anymore. And that's been the huge realization for myself. I've realized that I've been identifying with like 8 different past Sarahs and bringing all of those things into my now moment and allowing them to still form who I am as a person and what I think of myself as. And I realized this past full moon that I am not actually that person anymore, and it's more of a struggle now to continue to identify with past Sarahs than it is to allow myself to be who I actually am now. So think about that for yourself, because that wasn't the case for me until now. So think about it, because before it was much harder for me to attempt to identify with whoever I am right now. It was much easier to identify with all of my traumas, to identify with the hardships, to identify with, self-image issues and all of the things. Now that's harder. And so I'm paying attention to that, because sometimes when things are harder, we think we should do them more, but that's not New Earth way. So feel in and ask yourself, who are you right now? Are you even that anymore? Because if you're not, it's okay to let it go. And this is the month to do it, because you're going to be offered many opportunities to step into your current true self. And you don't need to drag along the other ones with you. So just remember that, because when Sagittarius season comes, you want to be ready to be to go, okay? But with that, I don't know what is happening today. It's like I'm doing a November update on the 9th of November, and I already did one, but we're doing what we do. So I say all that to say, at the end of the month, we will be in Sagittarius season, because that happens on the 22nd, but our, which one is this one? Our full moon, no. Which one do I want to tell you about? No, I want to tell you about the new moon. So our new moon this weekend on the 15th, that is going to be in Scorpio, okay? So we're going to be in Scorpio season, having a Scorpio new moon. And so I think that's probably why we're talking about this now, because it's going to be really, really potent for releasing the things, for unburdening yourself, so that the seeds that you plant this new moon can truly be anchored in the new energy, and they can truly come from you, who is now either in full alignment with yourself or pretty darn close. Because a lot of this alignment that we talk about, where your mind, your words, and your heart are all the same, they're all like this, a lot of that work happens by you just saying it, right? You having awareness of it. So many things can't happen if you're aware of them. And so many things can happen because you're aware of them. So you are the one who is controlling all of this with your incredible mind and with your incredible energy. And when you align all of these things, magic, it just happens. So please remember that. So Wednesday, when we jump into this 11/11 portal, we are going to be powering up whatever your manifestations are, so that when we get to this new moon, you are so ready, you are so light, you are so buoyant, you're feeling the fire already coming, and it's going to be an incredibly, incredibly potent new moon. At the end of this month, we will have a full moon, and we will also have an eclipse. So that will start eclipse season. And I guess I'm just going to keep talking about this, because I'm just kind of on a roll. But at the end of the month, we're going to have our eclipse, a lunar eclipse, and then we are going to have another eclipse on December 14th, which will be a solar eclipse, I believe. And that will, it'll be fun. So let's actually just stay here. I don't want to talk about that too much. Let's stay here in the present moment and make sure that as we move through this November, we are powering ourselves up, lifting up our manifestations, and holding that high note. And we still have to be able to answer some questions, right? Do you know what the questions are? I know you know what the questions are. Who are you and what do you want? You need to be able to answer these questions. So if you're still kind of like, I don't know, what do you want? It's like that thing where it's like, this is actually my life, but it's a meme, right? Where it's like, okay, honey, like, where do you want to go to dinner? I don't know, something good, somewhere delicious. Where do you want to go? These are not answers, okay? You need to know what you want for dinner. Are you in the mood for pasta? Do you want tacos? Usually. You gotta be able to answer these questions. They need to be so fast. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Ask yourself all the time. And the more you do this, you might start to realize, I want different things all the time. That's okay. You can want different things all the time, as long as you can answer it fast. Because when we do our manifestations, if you don't know what you want, you're putting in a really weird freaking order to the universe, and the universe will do its best. But if you're like, I don't know, like, what are you in the mood for? I kind of want this, but here's something really super conflicting that I also want, and I don't know if I deserve what I just asked for. So I'm going to kind of block myself on that because I think I'm undeserving of anything that awesome. Okay, that kind of stuff is going to get you a really weird present, and you don't want a really weird present. So let's get clear on what we want so that we don't get stuff back that makes us think that manifesting doesn't work. Because it so does work. What doesn't work is you blocking yourself at every turn because of self-worth issues, guilt over receiving abundance, guilt over receiving anything, and the inability to just say how you feel at any given point in time. We are really done with people pleasing. Really done. So if you are still basing your life around making others happy or comfortable or making them feel like you are exactly who they want you to be or think you are at any point in time, if you're still doing that, that's what needs to go now, because it is not going to allow you to do any of the work you came here to do. And bonus, it's not going to help anybody around you either. When we do that, when we people please, when we contort ourselves to make other people comfortable, we are not allowing those people to do their life the way they need to do it either, right? So everybody needs to do their own work. We can't do anybody else's work for them. So with that in mind, knock it off with the people pleasing. You don't have to feel guilty for asking for something and actually getting it. You are a sovereign being. You're really awesome. If the people around you don't enjoy your awesomeness in its real, true, aligned, authentic, and raw form, get some new people around you and don't feel bad about it. It just is what it is. Will you have emotions about that? Absolutely. We are literally bags of emotions all the time. It's so fun. If you are a close personal friend of mine, you know that I am a bag of mixed emotions all the freaking time. I do not have my shit together 98% of the time, but 2% of the time I do pull it together, and that's made a huge difference in my life. So just remember that. It's all right. We do the feels. We have all the things. It's part of our journey. We literally came here to be able to feel all the things because that's not available to everybody on all the planets. Earth is a playground for feelings, sensations, and amazing, weird as shit storylines. So please remember you are the author of your particular story. And as an author, do we have any Game of Thrones fans? As an author, you have complete autonomy over writing your story. And you can also go back and edit, but that's another time. But I say that to say, if you are a Game of Thrones fan and you actually read the books, you will know that that man has absolutely zero compunction about killing off any character in that book. Even if a character's been like kind of the main character for like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pages, he's like, oh, this one's dead. right? We need to have that same ability and lack of restriction when writing our own stories. Sometimes a storyline is so done, and we need to be able to say, this storyline is done. Next part, and roll in. Because if we're imagine you're bringing a cast of characters from chapter 1 all the way to like chapter 53, what does that even look like, right? What kind of an arc is that? What kind of an adventure is it? It's weird. It's static. You definitely have new things coming in all the time, and you got to make room for them. So just remember, you're in charge of this. You're writing your story. I know a lot of you guys like writing, and so you understand this metaphor. So please feel into your own authorhood and be in control of your narrative. And remember, every morning you're going to wake up and you have the ability to have the day that you want. You can make choices all day long that completely shift your timeline, okay? You have portals all the time, not just 11:11 portal. Every day is a portal for you. That's how magical and powerful you are. So I just want you to remember all of those things about yourself, because I need to remember them about myself too. And I want you to be kind to yourself when you have those moments where it feels like you've completely forgotten your own sparkle, your own magic, where you cannot remember all of the amazing growth that you've had over the past, 2 weeks even, but over the past couple years. When you start to forget all of those things and you have those days where you're just like, someone just put a blanket on this and give me some chocolate. Please remember that you're allowed to have that too. It's part of your story. But also remember, you don't live under that blanket eating the chocolate. That's just a moment. You can get up the next day and you can continue writing, and it's going to be amazing. So I'm feeling that for you guys. I'm super pumped for it. I know for me personally, this is a thing that's happening all the time. So there are times I get disappointed in myself because I feel like I should have let go of things better than I have, and they keep coming around, and I'm like, I have feelings, and should I do something about this? And the answer is always no. So I just want you to know, for me, the answer is always no. Sometimes I do act on my feelings, and still the answer is usually should have been no. So just know that if you feel like, if you keep trying to dip into old energies and situations thinking you're gonna somehow change that, you can do that, because again, it's your story. But usually for me, it's never a good idea. So I'm just telling I should put like a hand right here. Sarah, remember this. Go back and listen to yourself. All right, I've been talking for a long time. I'm sorry, although that is what I do here. I'm going to pull a card for you guys for this morning because I've been having this deck in front of me. It is The Wisdom of the Hidden Realms by Colette Baron Reed. And this is one of my new decks. And I will pull this card for you, and it will be in the Restoration Facebook group. So if you guys are not already in the Facebook group, I highly suggest you pop in there and join. It's a private group, and so it's not like on all the feeds. And that's where we're gonna be putting our candlelit vigils. And it's where I put a lot of things, and it's a good community. So get in there. Also, before I pull the card, because this is what I meant to tell you probably like 27 minutes ago, but we have our moon call on the 15th at 4 p.m., Restoration members, and I will be opening the moon calls and all moon calls to people who are not in Restoration, but you can pay a la carte and not be part of the subscription service. It makes much more sense financially to join, but I want to make sure that if you want to be in the manifestation calls, maybe just once or twice or whenever it feels like a thing for you, that you are able to do that. So I will be posting signups for that like on Thursday or Friday, and you can totally do that. The Restoration members, you don't need to sign up because you already will get the link to that. All right, make sense? Okay, here comes the card. Okay. I can't even like read this for some reason. It says the Well Watcher, Wisdom, Power of the Divine. And this is number 7. And I want to tell you a few things about this card that I'm seeing, because when I hold it up like this, you'll literally not see any of it because of my ring light. But there's this person, and on her shoulder, a barn owl is landing. So an owl is landing. In the background, there's some sort of stone manor house, and then she's in front of this well. So it's number 7. Woo. See, you really can't see it. But I will post this in the Facebook group so you can really look at it, and I'll post the book description. But I'm going to read it to you too. Okay, ready? I don't understand this book, but I'm just gonna read it. The well watcher signals the need to go within to contemplate the true source of power in the world, which, he reminds you, is that of the divine. This is a message to let you know that you're being called to the well, and this unseen power will be there and be yours to align with. This affirmation and prayer will invite the divine to bring miracles and resolution to your life. Thy will be done through me for the highest good of all and for the true manifestation of my purpose. You will know the way forward by the still small voice within. The divine also may answer your call by sending others to help guide you. Do you know what this makes me feel like? It feels like the well is Scorpio season. You know what I mean? Because we're like looking down into that dark, murky water and like what's coming up out of this well. And this card is literally just telling you to have some faith and trust and to put your manifestations, your intentions out there and allow them to be heard and to be, allow them to be heard and to be made real. Something that's been coming through a lot for me lately is this idea of allowing miracles to happen and knowing that they do happen all the time and understanding that we don't control miracles. So annoying. I like to control everything. What the heck? But we don't control them. We just have to believe that they happen, and they happen every day. So feeling it. I will post this in the group. This card has 2 things. One's called Ally and one's called Challenger. I'm not resonating with the Challenger aspect of this card, but I will post it so that you can read it and see if it resonates for you. So number 7, the Well Watcher. It's happening. Okay, cool. All right. And so I always forget to say this because this video does go on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe and do something with notifications so that you can see when I upload things. And my friends, if you are enjoying my stuff, the most helpful, amazing thing that you can do for me right now is to share my videos to your people. This helps me become like a virus in a good way. I love you guys. I will see you on Wednesday. Don't forget, show up Wednesday morning if you're available for the 11:11 portal something, probably a meditation of sorts, that we're gonna power you up. And then remember, our lunar call is Sunday at 4 p.m. If you can't make it at 4 p.m., it's always emailed to you. I love you guys so much. You're awesome. Keep holding the high note. If you do your vigils tonight, please post them in the Restoration Facebook group under that pinned post at the top. If you have any questions, send me messages. I love you, I love you, I love you. Have an amazing Monday.